Ronan O'Gara, that was a long press conference in there.
Yes, very long.
Just sum it up.
Draining.
Yeah, just sum it up what it means. Back-to-back champions.
Incredibly special, I think. The disbelief after Marseille, pretty confident coming here. But you have to temper that with the fact that you're playing Leinster at home. And then it becomes incredibly difficult with the start they got. But what a response, what a show of character from the boys. It really warms the heart to think about what they did today, and it's really, really special. There's no other words for it.
Yeah, going in at half-time, what was the speech to the guys?
Was such a bonus. You have no idea in the fact that we're 9 points down. Obviously 17 was... You can come back from 17, but you probably have to change tactically. At 9, you don't have to change anything. You know, then we started well. We got a penalty, 26-20, innit? And then we probably became a little bit blunt or stale, and the fact that we had identified a weakness in them, the fact we get the maul, keep driving it, but we didn't get many penalties or joy out of it till, I suppose, near the end of the game. But then when you score whatever 8 minutes left, a brilliant conversion, you go point up. Leinster are going to come back in the game, and they came back into the game really hard, and it's, you know, genuinely could have gone anyway at the end. What
is it about this La Rochelle team that they do this constantly in the dying minutes?
They don't do it constantly, they've done it twice.
Yeah, back to back, yeah. Well, I actually was over at the Gloucester game as well.
Yeah, and it's been a common theme all season. But to be fair, the level of competition today and the quality of the opposition was far superior than what we had faced.
Yeah.
And they had a blistering start, but mentally we're strong.
Yeah. And just personally for you then, I seen you out there with your mum out on the pitch. Joan, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was nice.
She missed Marseille because she had a fall, and then it was more severe than we thought, so her, I suppose, brain wasn't functioning great. So slowly on the mend, but she needs to eat up and get strong. But days like today, just she's too into it. It's too much for her, and yeah, we had a little, I suppose, theme in the background going when you want to, you know what I mean, scale Everest. Who are you going to bring with you? So we brought a photo of my mum, and boys brought people that were special to them. So we had it on our little mat in the dressing room. So when it got tough, people started to, I think about who was important to them, and they didn't want to go back to La Rochelle without the cup.
That struck me after the game, the amount of people that went up to collect the cup. It wasn't just the players, it was all their family, you know, their sons, their daughters.
That's great.
That's obviously important to you.
Of course it is, because, you know, like, a guy can play well if his family situation is good. We all have difficult periods in life, but the most important thing is your family, and getting people to be natural as well, you know, that it can't be an act when they go to work, that they are who they are and they can express themselves. You understand, we've people from all different backgrounds and cultures, and it's hard to even contemplate how differently people think about the game, and what is very normal to me and you is very different in a, we'll say, in a Muslim approach, or South Africans, Australians, New Zealand, Samoan, Argentinians, so everything. But it's not to say that any of ours is greater, it's just we put a big emphasis on family and respect and humility and honesty and working hard.
And as a coach, you've had to educate yourself in all those different cultures and ways of life,
yeah,
I'm sure.
Of course you do, because we do personality profiling, and you understand how you speak to people, how people take on messages. If they're sensitive in front of the group, you can't give them criticism, because what's the point in you feeling good giving a bollocking if the recipient isn't open to it? So every day is a learning day. I just enjoy this group. I put a huge emphasis on getting the right people in the building, and it's on days like today that you just feel so satisfied and so grateful for what's happening.
Something else I noticed is that you went around to every Leinster player out there and shook their hand.
Yeah, it's brutal because there's nothing in it. They go home devastated, they'll be in depression for a few days or a week, and I was that soldier as well. I understand that it's the ruthless part of top level sport. But you know what I mean, their team, their players, their management are really, really good guys. There's a small percentage of their fans that I wouldn't have much time for, that made themselves kind of aware on the approach to the game, which I think sparked up our boys for the battle.
Celebrations, I remember last year in the port in La Rochelle, I seen all the videos. This year I got to go and meet you there. I got to see La Rochelle for myself.
Exactly. So
what a place.
Yeah, and it's so important now that we do celebrate, and we will celebrate hard, and we will party till Friday, but that's why we play sport.
Yeah.
You know, you get it, because all this hard work has to be for something. You don't just do it to go home and watch the video review. You go and we dance and sing together and have crack together. Really important that you unwind and you get to know the guy even better again, so you're building more fuel for what's ahead.
Are you looking forward to the open top bus?
Yeah, I am because I was in a daze last year because it was probably disbelief.
Yeah.
I'm going to soak it all in today or tomorrow.
It's not disbelief that you came back from 17-0 down?
Do you know what? No, because when we had the ball, I felt we were dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think there was openings there. I suppose I need to have a look at the second half, because I think we dominated them, but we were a little bit blunt.
And last question, what is the ambition for Ronan O'Gara as a coach? Where do you see yourself? I know back-to-back champions now at La Rochelle, but where do you see yourself in the future?
Of course you want to test Coach Ireland, that's always been the goal, but I think what you do gets you that job. There's no hard luck story, you know. If you're the best candidate, you get it. If you're not, someone else gets it. But I'm giving it my best shot. But I must admit, I enjoy the journey. I put a huge emphasis on hopefully having a healthy family and me being healthy, and I don't really look long term.
Brilliant. Well, you'll enjoy tonight and the next few days. Thanks, Ronan.
See ya.
Thank you.
Donnacha Ryan, sum it up, Heineken Cup champions once again.
I suppose the cliche was probably a game of two halves. Started the first half, the first play of the game. Leinster first line out. I'd recognised that move before. Racing did it against Munster in 2018, and it was very well played. And look, it was 17-0 down. I just think we didn't have much ball. We're back down to yellow card with Tuera. And I think the lads just showed massive courage in that first half, just to hang in there, get a score, just give a bit of a belief. James Ryan got injured in the first half, and I think obviously he's a massive character for them. And then I think we kind of hammered that point home at half time, is that it's going to take the last 15 minutes to win it, and it was. But it was tough second half. I'm sure it was tough to referee as well. We're pretty happy.
As you said, 17-0 down, quite early on in that first half. Were you panicked at that point?
No, because we had no ball. We hadn't the ball, and I suppose Leinster didn't play as much as they normally do. They kicked a lot more than they did last year, and they probably would normally kick. So that gave us opportunities. And it's just for guys to get when we get them organised as well. And obviously Leinster were very disruptive at the ruck, and at line out as well. There was a few offside line in the middle of the pitch. Was an interesting discussion as well. But they're things, I suppose. Not everything goes their way, and our guys found a way. And I'm so happy for them, happy for Roger and the staff as well, and all the families too.
Yeah, just talk to us about the game management out there, especially in that second half. There was immense pressure from La Rochelle, and then Leinster were turnover after turnover after turnover, but you just kept your heads and kept in the game.
Absolutely, and I suppose our driving maul is a good bit of a weapon, I suppose. We can overcomplicate things, but the thing is trying to make these good at doing the basics well, and allowing guys to be as aggressive as possible. And to be fair, the game management was, obviously try and get a few penalties when it went against us a few times. That happens, but again, it's we train a next moment mentality. And to be fair, the lads are really on point, because they know Leinster are they don't lose that many games. And to be fair to the guys, they stuck on point. And then at the end, score that try at the end, it's just picking and going stuff. A bit similar to stuff that we train on during the year and that worked last year in the final. So it it was good.
And for you personally, back-to-back champions, Ronan O'Gara just walking by you there, a good friend of yours first off. Obviously you work alongside him now. What's it like to do it with him?
Yeah, I suppose it's great because it kind of flows into the group as well. Where like Rod's just so honest. He's just so honest to the boys. He puts a piece of himself to the boys, and the boys just love that. And that's that connection. The connection is that he cares massively about the boys. I think a few weeks ago we had a training session planned and decided to take the boys surfing for the day. And it's just like, because we spend so much time together, and it's just about creating moments for one another. And look, he just works so hard, and it's a 7-day gig, but it's not even a gig at this age. It's like it's a passion, and it's moments like these, and the boys won't forget this. We'll enjoy it tonight and maybe next 3 or 4 days.
Did you make the right move to La Rochelle?
I just wanted the experience as well. So every day I'm learning from the boys. Still learning French every day of the week, and I think that's a good thing because it humbles me massively. I have to be organised and have to make my message very simple. And obviously my Tipper accent gets in the way of that with my French accent. But I know it's definitely, it gets me out of my comfort zone. And I think, the boys, it's a collective thing. It's not a top-down thing. It's a collective thing. And as you saw there at the end, two liners there at the back of the back, and the second last one wasn't great, and he called the same thing again, and he hit the top of jump, and that just took massive character. And we'll be trying that the whole time. So I'm just thinking moments like that. That's what you're living for.
Brilliant, Donnacha. We'll enjoy it all. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks.
Leo, hard luck out there. Thanks a million for doing this. I know it's not easy to come in after a defeat like that. How would you sum it up?
Well, devastating, I think, is probably the word, isn't it, for guys given so much to the year, to the game, start the game well, score some great tries, just couldn't keep that sustained pressure, unfortunately, over the course of the game. So a lot of credit to La Rochelle. They're a team with a lot of power there, and they stuck in well and scored some great tries, stuck in the game. We're still in the game at half time, where we maybe could have been further in front after the start that we had. Second half, then we just struggled really to get out of our ends. We come up with a lot of good turnovers, but there were turnovers where then we're exiting by kicking, where we're not picking up penalties at any stage. There's just there's just too much pressure, so we're giving them too much field position and possession. So and eventually get over as well. So we're really disappointed. The guys are devastated in there. So but it's a game of fine margins, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. An unbelievable first half performance. You lost James Ryan and Ty Furlong. Was that a big impact on the game?
They're two key guys for us, for sure. They're just unfortunate, in terms of some of the knocks that they picked up in the game. So, but that's to win tournaments, you got to be able to ship different knocks at different stages. And as I said, I think the guys are unbelievably disappointed. It's an amazing occasion out there, wasn't it? In terms of two unbelievable teams going hard at it. Comes down to the finals and margins. Amazing support that we had. So we're very appreciative of that. And when you're at this occasion, you want to do everything you can to win, and we're so close to it, but it feels like you're a million miles away at the same time.
How much of a blow is this now for Leinster? Felt like today it was a must win, especially after what happened last year.
People are asking me that about even outside, just around the chase for a 5th star. But listen, I was around in the days we were looking for 1 star. If you think back to the loss we had against Permanent in 2003, you think it was on to 2009 until Leinster won the European Cup for the first time. So there's been a few since then. So I think there's confidence that we can do it. You need to get a hell of a lot right. But that's for a different day's conversation. Everyone's given everything to this day. So we'll reflect, and there's always a change at the end of a season. So some players are leaving. Some of the backroom team will move on as well, and you've new fresh blood coming in, and you start to build a new plan. But like I said, that's for another day now. So players are off now, and they'll turn their attention pretty quickly to getting ready for World Cup. We'll see how that all unfolds. There's so much rugby before we get our full complement of players back for the start of next season. So we'll watch with great interest. The World Cup seasons are always a bit of a different dynamic, and we'll see what sort of shape guys come back in, and then we start to plan and start to do it all over again, put ourselves in this position, and it's painful, isn't it? Like, it's painful to go through this, painful to have this conversation, and like the guys in the dressing room, like it means so much to them. They know they're here in front of friends, family, representing so many great people that have supported them, so they want it so badly, and sometimes that bit of pain, it's like they just need to carry it forward now and channel in the right direction when they get that next opportunity. And that's the thing about the group of players that we have, which is young players. They come into the academy, they come through the senior team, they play their regular URC domestic rugby games, and they graduated, play at this level of Champions Cup, and then the next step is playing the big knockout games, so I've been through that cycle as a player myself, jibbers, like I was 31, I think, when last won European Cup for the first time. We won a trophy back in 99-2000. We thought we were 2000-2001. We just thought it was.
You were captain for
happen.
the first year.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. So like, it's painful. Like, it's really painful. But the group is so close. So just making sure they maintain the belief, and keep working hard and doing everything they can to make sure that they win on the biggest days.
And just finally, just on Stuart Lancaster, see Johnny Sexton, it's not the send-off that they would have liked.
No, like, and I think that's, for some of our guys, that's probably what they're most disappointed, because there's such great characters in the group that will move on now. Stuart, as a coach, been unbelievable support to, me and so many others in the organisation. We sort of all found each other probably quite a good time. If you remember back to those days, we've had some great days together. Fortunately, it wasn't a great day today. Very close, very, very close. And then Johnny's been there for so many big days. I think back 2009, 2011, 12, Bilbao 2018 as well. So, and so many days here at the Aviva Stadium with Ireland as well. So, amazing servants for the club. Dave Carney in there in the dressing room as well. Nick McCarthy, Tyke McElroy being here as well. A couple of guys retired early on the season. Charlie Ryan, James Tracy. So a few academy players finishing up as well. So that's just the nature. Group will be different. Everyone will be older, hopefully wiser, and we'll go again.